Hello and welcome everyone. Roisin Campbell here from Trinity House. How have you been feeling with all these amazing vibrational energies and frequencies that are at a constant flow each day in your life? Sometimes we be put off the grid with the ego and we personalize everything that is happening to us. And then that brings us into projection. So we personalize if something is going on, or someone's saying a certain thing, or society's doing a certain thing. And we get caught in this identification then of this personal identity. And then we project it out into our worlds. I remember when my mother passed, and she passed very peacefully, and I supported her passing. I shifted her energy field each night so that her soul and her spirit would be able to really reunite and move in the next lifetime or lesson that the soul shows. When my mother passed, she was with me for a few weeks, talking to me, but in a very light capacity of love, clarity, and total liberation, more than freedom. The identification of her personal journey had disappeared. She was no longer suffering, no longer sick, no longer depressed. She had restored herself. And then, about 6 weeks later, she appeared to me again. But this time, she was not the energy of the mother that I knew. But she looked like my mother, but there was nothing else that had any connections to my mother's energy field or essence. And the soul spoke to me, and I said, why are you showing my mother to me when you're not my mother? And the soul says, that's correct. You will never connect with the mother that you had again as the mother. That journey is completed. And I am the soul that was a part of that mother. And as the mother has now been completed, the soul is taking on another new journey. And I had to sit with that because I was looking at this woman that looked like my mother, but there was nothing of my mother there at all. It was a profound experience and shocking, actually. And then I said to the soul, what do you mean? And it said, tell the world to stop taking it so seriously. And I said, that's very hard to tell the world not to take it so seriously when we're so attached to this suffering and this 3D self. And I said, yes, you are so identified. And because you are so powerful, your identification creates everything, your emotions, your mindsets, even your very taste. I thought, wow. So the soul just smiled at me and said, I'm away for another journey. I'll see you in a month. So I had to grieve again because I lost my mother a second time. I cleared her so well, prepared her being so completely right for her passing over. She elevated very quickly. So that also brings me to when people are passing, how important it is to have all of you in place for your passing, to complete your lesson so that you do not have to relive it again. So there was such a liberation with my mother's passing for her. I was so happy that she was so completely free and liberated on so many levels. I lost her, I missed her, but the happiness overcome all that. The shock more was when I started to work with her in the spirit. and that disappeared. That was more of a loss to me. But I understand it perfectly now. So this identification is really the greatest suffering and sorrow that we have. We have to strip back our belief systems, strip back who we think we are, strip back what we're familiar with, and really, really have the courage to release what we feel is us and what we need to feel secure, and really enter the mind into a new journey of liberation. Teach the mind that fear is not real. So it takes a lot of introspection and wanting to change this identity and identification, because we want this sense of belonging all the time, because the mind is lonely. But as we go deeper into our essence, the love that we seek, we will never find it in another person. It's impossible to find the love in someone else, because human love and the divine love are completely different aspects. Human love is temporary and it's ever changeable. You can love many people and fall in love many times. It's not forever. It's not eternal. But there's rules made around that you're meant to love somebody forever. You're meant to stay together forever with people. That's not how it is. That's not the truth of what true love is. True love is the conscious essence that each being already is. And I believe that we do not and cannot touch that love in this 3D body. This human self cannot touch the profound love of the soul, because the human self is on a groundwork in the earth, working through lessons, working through different vibrations of being as the soul is growing and learning and expanding. I do not believe that the human and the soul ever meet. They are a part of the one essence, but they're so vast and there's so many worlds within them that you only meet your soul's truth as you pass. But think about this, as you pass, you don't need to meet the truth, because you totally integrate and disappear, and the soul is what you are. So there's really no meeting of the soul if we think of it that way. We are the soul, but we are vast aspects of the soul that we can't touch when we're in different aspects of being, but we're still the soul. So it's a deepening of really understanding what you're trying to connect with, what you're trying to search for. Because who you are now is who you're meant to be. But who you are identifying to may be causing the problem. So to work more on identification will release more and allow a liberation for you to become that divine human. And when we think about passing and when we lose someone, of course we lose that person, really lose that person from our family, from our society. But actually, on a bigger scale, we lost nothing, because that energy goes back into the consciousness and it blends within our soul, because we are all the soul. So we have to release grief. We have to release the journey of losing people and death, and realizing that it's all one light. And to release identification of, what someone else was giving us or what someone else gave us in our life, and become more resilient within ourselves, more at peace with the self. And really be the caretaker for the self. So it brings me to the journey that I am preparing for in the end of September, to Croatia, to Medjugorje. And Medjugorje is a very, very mystical place. Any places where there's miracles, there has to be a mystical vortex. All walks of life visit Medjugorje. It can be a place of prayer for people. It can be a place of solace for people. It can be a place of healing for people. It gives us many things, and it's a real personal journey. I see Our Lady as the divine mystical being, the divine feminine, one of that line of amazing divine feminines, from the Sophia to the Eve to the Magdalena, and then to Our Lady. All these amazing aspects of the divine feminine concept, which is knowing without needing to know. A deep wisdom in that inner light of the feminine that holds that energy of knowledge, an oracle. And we all are the oracles of the divine feminine, and also the divine masculine. So as I prepare for the Medjugorje journey on the 28th of September, a 6-day retreat, it's a retreat of the heart, a retreat of the real silence of the heart, and allowing the heart to guide you. I am guided that Our Lady will give messages to the heart, to each and every person, your own divine message. And when we think about the heart, we may think about our physical heart. It's not our physical heart. It's that heart that's a part of that one soul that we all are. It's that heart that can liberate us from this identity, these fears, and these belongings that we need. It's that heart that can sustain us, that we know we are not off here, we are not from here, but we are here as this being in this moment. What is that purpose? So let yourself think about where you want to take your heart's message. You can join me in Medjugorje physically, or you can be online. We will have transmissions each night. And if you can't make it online, you can join energetically. Everybody will receive the recordings of the sessions. We will also be programming the bioresonance light therapy through the whole of the retreat. And if you have been on our meditations of the bioresonance, you can see and feel and really understand the Aquarius tools we have now to really calibrate the whole of the being on many journeys all at once. So thank you for listening. And I hope the energy of the video has filled you up a bit. And I hope that you will share and like and join me in the energy of mystical Medjugorje. Roisin Campbell here from Trinity House. Thank you for listening, everybody. Have a beautiful day.